Welcome back to this week's Help Me Rhonda Show. Well, this week is going to be quite inspiring, especially if you're into the feminine energy. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Feminine energy is what's guiding and leading us right now. We are moving into the age of Aquarius, which is more compassion. And the world has been quite hard for such a long time. And you know me, being in business, being that powerful businesswoman, you've started to see a bit of the softer edges that I've been taking on. And a lot of it has to do with this exact topic that we're having today. So my guest today is Thatja Andrade. She's from Brazil, and she is a high performance coach for women that want to have it all. They want to have the business, they want to have the family, they want to have the relationships, and they want to have the wealth. And this woman shows them how to do it all and have it all. So let's get into it. Thatja, welcome to the show.
I am so honored and excited for this conversation with you, Rhonda.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you're here. And it was fun when I get to do those introductions of who I'm introducing. It's like, you know, you've really taken on so much for the power of women, but you've done it in such a different way. Has things shifted for you? Were you always leaning heavier in your feminine energy with business, or have you started to see a shift?
Well, for sure, my feminine energy is the dominant energy. Mm-hmm. So I have always been that way. However, when I started doing business, I thought I needed to be more masculine, right? Wow. So I started to learn how to be masculine. However, the ways that I was learning, it wasn't very much healthy all the time for my your natural body. Essence, right? As a woman, right? So it wasn't always the super feminine way. I had to put on this mask, you know, the perfection, because I'm from Brazil as well. I didn't speak a perfect English when I started, so that was like a big thing. So I thought I needed to be perfect. I was always being super perfectionist with everything. And what I have learned throughout this journey, the way that I show up the best is when I'm fully accept what is coming through me, right? And that's totally part of the feminine way, is to be in the flow of who we are. If it's in the masculine, if we have to do the badass things in the business, bring on this goddess, like this inspiration energy.
Well, I think it's very inspiring because we're really leaning into that more, right? Like, you know, I was in corporate and I was such a powerhouse, and I started to find myself the same way, like almost in these burnout moments and not realizing why. Yeah. And would you say then that society kind of forced us for such a long time into that masculine way of doing things? And how did it open up for you, or how did you realize that you were really not working within your own power to be the best that you could be for your clients and for the world?
Yes, so absolutely. Society has taught us, when we go into a business conference to learn the entrepreneurship thing, they teach us the masculine way. Yeah. They teach, it's very masculinized, the way, you know, that we learn business, right? But for women, it has to be different. Even for men nowadays, you know, we are growing to, you see great leaders, you know, such as forgot his name, but the owner of Chipotle. He wrote a book. It's an amazing book about compassion, about community and generosity in the workplaces, and how these big corporations now are leaning on into this more feminine energy and balancing it out. For many years, it wasn't balanced, right? And that, in my particular life, when I was working for corporate, and even after, in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, I was suffering physical pain from overworking, right? From not taking care of myself. I didn't know, you know, I was just like so obsessed with the success, and you know that path very well.
Yeah, and so true.
Yeah.
And we find ourselves in these little traps, right? So how did you find yourself out of that and into doing the work that you're doing now? Because I think right now, more than ever, women need guidance on how to actually tap into that, especially if we've been trained to not lean into our feminine energy. And, you know, and I'll be the first to always say this, like, I thought it was super airy fairy, you know, I'm like, this is not what, you know, business women do. And I realized it was just the personality and the way people were bringing spirituality in, because I'm able to still be my structured self the way I am, but really guide my life through my feminine side. So how did that open up for you?
Well, and that's beautiful too, that you have this masculine foundation of this structure, you know. I didn't have that. So I had to kind of build up that, you know, with effort. So deconstructing that effort and allowing myself to be supported, it's a big thing, right? The feminine, you know, we have forgotten how to ask for support. We thought that this is weak. This is one thing that I see a lot with my clients, right? Another thing that has changed my life and the way that I do business is really listen to my intuition and trust that what is coming through me, it's the thing. Like, and this is what creativity is, and this is what I look at this genius entrepreneurs, like innovating all the time, like you were always innovating, you were tapped into your creativity. And this life force energy is the feminine energy. The feminine consciousness is the creativity. So understanding that we are a channel, right? We are a channel for the energy, and allowing that instead of like denying and saying, oh no, I'm not creative, or no. You know, a lot of times we are like so trapped and stuck in the like, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. And where we focus as our energy, we grow that energy. So changing the focus into like, how can I be more? Maybe I'll turn the volume up of this song, I'll dance into this music, I will use pleasure to tune in, to activate my feminine energy, and then I will do the badass things. And then I will go and write that email or create that structure, you know?
So you're doing it with them. Wow, that's really interesting. So the way that you guide your clients is you show them how to really tap into the feminine, open it, activate it, and then start doing the more, if you will, masculine, or, you know, things that kind of are more structured. Wow, that's really beautiful.
And when you have to make choices, when you are in the masculine paradigm, when you're still, you know, not fully tapped into your own creative energy, we tend to look outside, externalize our choices. And when you are able to, okay, let me find the answer within me. What do I feel? What does my womb, I know that can be a little woo-woo for some, but it's true. Like a woman, we have a really powerful thing inside of us that creates life, right? We are divine because we create life, you know? So tapping into this, what does my womb feel about this decision? And then bring into the heart, which is the masculine. So the connection, the dance, the flowness of this both energies, and connecting with that for guidance, the heart and the womb is the connection with the ancestral and what is ahead as well, and the heart is with the divine. So what do I feel about this decision? And you know, and you can use tools for that answers, or you can learn how to use your body as a tool. So the masculine consciousness is really about the body more than the mind.
Wow, so what kind of tools then? That's really powerful, because I think when people are listening, they may understand it, but they're like, but how? What are these tools? Like, so what type of tools then would you recommend, or that you know, work on with your clients to help, you know, reactivate that?
There is a broad lack of tools. There's so many. But if you talk about body, your own body, using your own body as a tool, like our bodies, it's not like a rock, a solid rock. In a cellular level, our body is vibrating energy, right? We have the cells, we have the molecules, inside we have the atoms, and then you have the positive and the masculine polarity, the negative and the positive, and they're both there. So it's like, when you activate this energy, it changes. It's ever changing. So there is no such thing as like sameness, like you're always in constant. So you can change that emotion. So the first thing that I do every time that I want to use my body as a tool is like, how can I activate my energy? How can I raise my vibration, my frequency? Because if I try to create something, if I'm in a low frequency, you know what comes out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So first, changing your frequency with dance, with sounds, with movement, with shaking. Like, use your body as a tool to transform your frequency, because in a cellular, in the most, when you zoom in,
level,
when you zoom in, this is what it is. It's vibration. So using your body this way, singing, dancing, sound, all of those things. You know, I use pendulum. You know, I have my pendulum over here. You know, I take it out. You know, I have learned to work with the pendulum, and anyone can. However, the pendulum will feel the frequency vibration of the room, of your own emotional, psychological state. So you gotta kind of understand and be a clean slate to use this sort of tools that are, you know, outside of you. You can use, you know, there's so many, like journaling, singing. Like, you can literally, my coach, I have an amazing, very intuitive singing coach, and she's also shamanic, astrologist, and all of those things. We go super deep. I love it all the time. And you know what we have been doing, and I also learn those things and I teach to my clients, of course. You know, we learn with our masters what works for us, we pass it on. So what's been working for me a lot, it's to let my body speak, and she will be writing down. So it's nice to have someone doing with you. This is a really great technique. So, you know, the person is writing whatever your body is saying. So like, my womb is saying this, my heart is saying this. So you tapped into the wisdom of your body, and when you read that, you're like, wow, I'm so beautiful. I'm a genius. I am so creative.
Well, it's really interesting. I love that. I would probably say that many people might go, oh, that's not for me, right? That's really, you know, that's super airy fairy. However, it's just basic science. It's the basics of understanding our body and tapping into the frequencies, because we are a pillar to connection to source. We're a pillar to connection to the energy and the frequencies that we are vibrating at. And so I loved when I started to learn about like law of attraction. They were starting to talk about this back in, you know, probably in the 90s, where they're starting to talk about frequencies, right? And that you give off what you get back what you're giving off. And it's just really simple things if you think about it. Because now knowing, you know, when I'm really leaning into, I'm still very powerful, however, I'm quite witchy, right?
Yes.
In my power of my business. Because now I just know that I can still speak from my truth and my heart. And I'm very strong with my words, or kind with my words, but I'm strong with my stand. Whereas before I used to be strong with my words and strong with my stand, right? And so it's just a different understanding of how you're tapping into your feminine side, that business actually should run very in flow. Whereas before, business was like, it was like I was fighting up a hill all the time.
Yeah.
So then when we really start to share this and people are listening, it's like, even if you're a man or a woman,
Yeah, it works.
activate this feminine side so that you actually come with a more gentle heart.
Absolutely.
And your decisions are not based on logic or ego, right? Your decisions are based on connection and creation.
Yeah.
What a more beautiful way to build a business or to build a life and to have connections with others, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you see these powerful women in business, in politics? You know, they were able to pave the way for us, and they have, you know, already conquered so much, so much power, so much positions of power and authority in the world. Imagine if they do that with the feminine energy. Imagine if they use the peculiar feminine ways. You know, how inspiring would be for other women and for men.
Well, you and I were talking about this earlier about Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Like, think about it, she was one of the strongest, most powerful women, and she had men at her feet. And it wasn't that we're saying, oh, men should bow down to us. However, if you look, success leaves clues. She was very much in her feminine. She knew what she wanted, and she knew what she was going to get. right? And she was able to navigate it and strategically build one of the largest, strongest, human empires.
Absolutely.
Right? And it was all based from, her background. Now she did many things that were quite manipulative. So I don't suggest that that's how we women use our power. But there are ways you start looking at these women that have done these things. Like when you look at Oprah, you look at, Marianne Williamson. Now we're looking at Kamala Harris, who's, the vice president of, of the world of the United States. And she's a feminine woman who's leading with so much feminine energy, like Michelle Obama. Like there's all these beautiful women that have started, they're supporting the masculine, but we know the feminine energy is what's helping guide that structure.
That's
right?
it. It is such a new thing for us.
Yeah.
We must now learn how to tap into that. That's why my work right now is so needed in this world. And that's how women like you that have been so in the masculine and now in the feminine show what is possible. Because you were telling me that your business has skyrocketed since you have tapped into your feminine energy. I know, me too. And same with me. Every time I align to this feminine energy, I have people feeling the invitation to come into my world like crazy. So it's like, it is the secret. It is the secret sauce. It is the energy that it's calling us in this new...
And it's alive.
It is.
It's a heartbeat. It's alive. Share with us about this program that you're running, because I know everyone's going to want to know how they can find you. How do they work with you? What is this new course that's coming out? Because this is really powerful.
Well, it's a really powerful course that I have channeled, downloaded through a period of time. It's my lifetime's work. It's a feminine work. It's the Vortex Femme. This is where we learn the true power of a female leader. This is how we tap into this feminine consciousness, and it's an initiation. So we go through initiation and awaken the goddess within in many different levels. So we go through a step, not a step. I don't like step by step because it sounds masculine, but it's an initiation that there is a journey. It's a journey, right? So we go through the elements of nature as well, because life force, life energy is the secret of the new paradigm leader, is the secret for success. Literally, energy is everything. So we are going to be activating the energy within us and learning how to operate and navigate through these energies, so we can learn how to enlighten our creativity, our inner genius, then how to use our voice in the most inspiring, appealing way as a feminine leader. And then we go into the foundations, the earth, how do you plant the seeds, and how do you trust that it's growing, and how do you compound the growth of your business, of your relationships, so you can always have abundantly everything, even though it takes time. It's always growing. There's always fruits there, and the art of receiving. That's the final part. It's like, how do you have an ecosystem around you where everyone around you is supporting it, you are receiving, you learn how to step back and be a receiver, a goddess, an inspiration. And then the last part of this initiation is the wisdom keeper, is the goddess that it's responsible to pass on this wisdom. It's the leader of the leaders. So when you are in her presence, you are just humbled by, so you become this woman. You see, it's an initiation, it's a journey where you learn how to tap into all of these goddesses that are already within us. So it's this is definitely the most profound and powerful course that I've ever seen, and has everything in this course. It's a 11-day journey. So it's not like we're going to have a module per week. It's going to be a very,
rapid pace,
because we are collapsing time. We're also learning how to work in the pulse of the time. We want to take quantum leaps. now it's the time. We don't have time to wait. I couldn't do 11 weeks. It has to be 11 days.
Yeah, wow, that's really powerful. So where can people look for you, find you? Where's the best place for them to find you?
Well, shoot me a message on social media. Thatja Andrade, my handle, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me there. You can find me on my highlights, the link for this course. You can check it out, my Insta stories. You know how it is, social media world.
Hey,
but shoot me a message.
Yeah.
Let me know what stood up for you from this conversation. I would love to know what is going on in your world and welcome you into mine.
Yeah, thank you, Thatja, so much. I mean, this is a message that the world deserves to hear now, and women deserve to be guided, and they're really looking for that guidance. So you are a gift, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inspiring us as well, Rhonda, with your show.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, now think about it. Are you sitting and you're still in that structured armor, if you will, being a masculine leader as a feminine? Or are you leaning into that feminine side? Have you ever had an imbalance between the two? Maybe you're a higher level on the feminine side and not enough structure, right? And not enough masculine side to really make it move forward. Imagine having the tools and understanding how to use your body as the tool, how to be guided as a feminine leader, and having someone like Thatja walk you through in 11 days to create magic. This is what's possible, and this is what we're talking about in today's show. I hope all of you received such a beautiful download and just felt that energy and saw the difference, right? I only talk and I only share about the things that I've experienced. And I'll tell you, my life has completely changed when I started to realize and see, step back in, center into my goddess-like self. My company has exploded because I wasn't the one in there trying to make it all happen. See, these are little things that we're starting to learn, especially during this time. We're learning more about how to guide in our truest self, lead from the space that we are meant to lead, and to help make shifts in this planet. So everyone, I hope you got so much out of today's show. Make sure that you always share in the comments if you're watching this live or if you're on our podcast. Please make sure you give us a review because it means so much to us and so much to our guests. But I always say this, guys, I'm going to leave you with one thing. If you're going to create a brand, create a sexy brand, and if you're going to be anything, be unstoppable. We'll see you on the next show. Cheers, everyone.